President, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I have.
Let's hear it.
Peace on earth. Peace on earth.
Hey everybody, hopefully you had a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year, and I hope that you all were able to maintain your New Year's resolutions at least longer than the president, who violated his 2026 resolution in less than 24 hours. Because, after saying his resolution is for peace, he decided to bomb Venezuela. And before that, he was saber-rattling against Iran, a country that he invaded last year. And then after he bombed Venezuela, he started to implicitly threaten Shine Bomb in Mexico. So not doing too great in terms of New Year's resolution for Donald Trump, but hopefully you all can do better. So of course, I am making a quick little video here to talk about the insanity that ensued last night. We'll be back next week, Humanist Report proper video in studio and all that, but I just wanted to make a really quick video vocalizing my thoughts, which it's kind of hard to articulate my thoughts. I waited a little bit longer because I didn't know what to say. I thought I'd give myself time to collect my thoughts and really articulate myself better, but I'm still struggling because what we witnessed is fucking insanity, and I still really can't believe that this happened. The United States government, this regime, bombed the capital of Venezuela, Caracas, which has 2 million people. And last night on Reddit, I was up. I just decided to check on a whim. Haven't been following the news this weekend, and then I see everything that's going on. You see people posting from Venezuela. One post in particular from this guy who lives in Caracas stood out to me. He was like, I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just holding my cat as I hear the bombs and the helicopters, and I hope that we're safe. I mean, this is terrorism. Let's call it what it is. This is terrorism. That's what the United States government did in bombing Venezuela. It's terrorism. It's illegal under both international and domestic law, but saying that doesn't really even matter because the law is not in effect. Might makes right. That's the reality. That's the reality. And you see so many Western governments come out to support Donald Trump's illegal actions here. Canadian politicians, the president of France. You see even some Democrats like John Fetterman, others to a lesser extent, leadership, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, not really condemning this with their full chest. Basically, finger wagging because he didn't ask for permission before doing this illegal invasion, even though they probably would have granted him permission to do that since they've been also trying to antagonize for regime change in Venezuela as well. I mean, we remember Juan Guaido and the way that the Democratic Party responded to that and his attempt to basically usurp the government of Venezuela. We kind of aided and abetted. That didn't work. So here we are now where we go in with force. And according to Donald Trump, we will be running Venezuela. I mean, this is naked imperialism, but just so that way you don't think I'm making this up, this is what he said.
So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about.
So we're running Venezuela, we're running Gaza, we're just running the world. Trump's goal is to conquer the world domination. It's quintessential fascism. And what's crazy is that he's not even bothering to lie to us about his motivations. It's pretty clear, pretty simple. They want the oil.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
That's also why he's saber-rattling against Nigeria. They have a lot of oil. It's the resource curse, as it's called, because, countries who are smaller, who can't defend themselves unless they have nukes, they are targets for imperial powers who just want to get in, steal their resources, and then put some dictator in charge who's going to give us those resources. But Venezuela has been a sticking point for the United States because, with Hugo Chavez and the Bolivarian Revolution, they've basically given the United States the middle finger and told them to fuck off. You don't get to keep our resources. This is for our people, right? This is not something that you can take. This is ours. And the United States just doesn't know how to take no for an answer. I mean, that's not surprising. Our country is run by a rapist, actually a regime full of rapists and pedophiles. So that's not too surprising that also translates into foreign policy. But, they don't understand no means no. And here we are now. The craziest thing about this whole debacle is that Donald Trump kidnapped the fucking president of Venezuela and his wife. I gotta repeat that. He kidnapped the fucking president of Venezuela. I mean, this is some supervillain shit. I can't believe that this happened. To see Trump tweet out, I don't know when he tweeted. I think it was at 1:21 in the morning. Yeah, we've got the president, and they do indeed have the president of Venezuela. They are now posting pictures of him, which I believe violates the Geneva Convention. You're not supposed to take pictures of POWs as part of humiliation. Doesn't matter. We get to do what we want, and everybody else just has to comply, or they get it too. And it doesn't matter what Trump says. He's pretty transparent about the fact that this is about the oil, but, he'll throw some justifications on it. It's about national security and their drugs are killing us. Never mind the fact that I just pardoned the former president of Honduras who trafficked 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. Doesn't matter because whatever I say goes. And, it's so despicable to see this happen because you don't get to do that. You shouldn't get to do that, right? But they're doing it. They're just kidnapping the president of another country, and it's being applauded by so many people as if this is normal. But I mean, just imagine if the shoe were on the other foot. Imagine if China, for example, kidnapped Donald Trump. I'm going to imagine that for a second. Yeah, people would be mad. People would be definitely mad about that because you can't just do that. You can't just violate the sovereignty of anyone else. And it's so sad to think about the fact that unless you live in a country that is aligned with the United States, this is something that could happen at any time in your life. Your entire country could be uprooted by a greedy, psychopathic president that we elect who is going to steal from you. And if you are aligned with the United States, then you're going to have to implement our economic policies that fuck over people. We are the great evil of the world. I need people to understand that in this country because there's so much propaganda that we haven't processed the fact that the way that we view Russia is the way that the entire world views the United States. We are by far and away the greatest threat to international peace and stability. Hands down, it's not even close. The things that we have done to the world are unforgivable. And it's reached the point where there's really no turning back. The United States empire is dying. It's a sinking ship. And right now, all of the elites are trying to steal as much as they can before they bail. Trump and his family and their cronies are currently trying to profit off of the economy, doing this pump and dump crypto bullshit, tariffs on, tariffs off, to, buy the dip and then profit. It is so corrupt. It is so overt, so unforgivable. But, we're at this stage where nothing can really be done about this. How do you reverse course? It just kind of feels like our fate is sealed and it's just all downhill from here. And there's not really much you could do but watch because Lord knows they don't give a fuck about our input. But having said that, it is still nice to see people take to the streets. You see hundreds of protesters in front of the White House. You see people marching in the streets of New York. On top of that, you see people marching in Venezuela. You see people protesting in Europe. They're standing outside of the U.S. Embassy in London. They're protesting in France. So it is nice to see that the people still do care about the international laws that elites have chosen to just disregard. But at the end of the day, everybody in the country, everybody in the world could stand up And unfortunately, we've just reached a point where it's not going to make much of a difference. I mean, if protesting worked or mattered, we would have seen racial justice reform after George Floyd was massacred, after that became a global movement. We would see action on climate change. We would see an end to the genocide in Gaza, an actual end to the genocide in Gaza. So it really is hard to not feel super helpless, and I wanted to try to be more optimistic going into 2026. You could say that was my New Year's resolution, but I have already failed as well. So I guess I have that in common with Donald Trump, where we both failed our New Year's resolutions. But those are my thoughts that I just vomited up. I don't necessarily know if this is going to help you process the information, because I myself have not been able to properly process this information because everything's kind of up in the air. It's still a breaking story, and we don't really know how this is going to turn out. Nonetheless, it's a shit show, and we're watching it in real time, so buckle up, because who knows what's going to happen next. But I can guarantee it's probably not going to be very pretty. So sorry to leave you with that. Either way, enjoy your weekend, and Happy New Year's. I look forward to getting back into the studio. I mean, I'm in the studio, but like in the proper position where, I'm filming at my desk and whatnot, and do a proper show, because as you can imagine, I have a lot of thoughts. So yeah, have a good day. I don't know what else to say. We're doomed, man. We're just fucking doomed.